they can save you money too. As energy costs keep climbing, put your energy bills in check. Call today and find out how affordable ABC Seamless products can be.
This is CNN.
Live from the world's financial capital, New York City, this is Moneyline with Lou Dobbs.
Good evening. The recession rally continued today, another record-setting performance on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrial surged almost 40 points to yet a new high, if by only a fraction, and small stocks also setting a record today. Stronger automobile sales in late January helping to drive the market higher. So did renewed hopes of lower interest rates and a rally in bonds as well. The Treasury's 30-year bond up almost a point, the yield dropping to 7 3/4%. Federal Reserve Board Chairman Alan Greenspan today raising hopes for even lower interest rates. Greenspan said there's room for another rate cut if the economy does need help. But Greenspan also said the Fed has provided all the help the economy should need. Bond traders heard both remarks but reacted to one. Bill Dorman has the story from New York.
Fed Chairman Alan Greenspan said the Fed is not assuming that the past moves will be sufficient to generate economic growth.
And with that, bond prices rose Tuesday. Traders interpreted Greenspan as leaving the door open for a further drop in interest rates.
We are, of course, continuing to evaluate whether some additional insurance in the way of further monetary ease would be appropriate.
Traders don't think that means any drop in interest rates over the short term. The Federal Open Market Committee meets this week. Wednesday, the Treasury Department tells the market how much debt it will sell. Market players expect $2 billion less in 30-year bonds. But traders are concerned an undisciplined government will spend even more during an election year.
Budget-busting tendencies are of great concern, especially since the Congress and the President are now facing a very pessimistic voting public. And so consequently, they're under extra pressure to come out with some type of a magic quick fix to the economic problems that the country faces.
Greenspan still says prior easing should be enough to return the economy to stable growth. One sign of stable growth would be increased corporate borrowing. Many companies are refinancing long-term debt, but many others are waiting. The federal government can't afford to wait. It's forced to borrow money regardless of market rates. Bill Dorman, CNN Business News, New York.
Well, Washington so far hasn't succeeded in helping the economy recover, so today Congress offered a consolation to unemployed, voting to extend jobless benefits for another 13 weeks. The president says he will sign the bill. It will cost almost $30 billion. It will help 600,000 people whose benefits run out later this month. While those Americans wait for their checks, thousands who build the Seawolf submarine wait for pink slips. Electric Boat today told workers in Groton, Connecticut, it will cut as many as 4,000 jobs this year. The administration wants to kill the Seawolf program, saving $17 billion over a 5-year period. The submarine maker plans to cut 10,000 jobs over the same period. President Bush is battling for his economic growth plan. Today, he took the fight into a friendly camp. He received a warmer reception than yesterday when governors confronted the president over his anti-recession plan. Today, the president talked before a convention of independent grocers and used a familiar advertising slogan to help sell his package.
Thank you for that warm. But we've also run into some hard times here. Our economy has slowed down. We must get it fired up again. And the professional pessimists tell us America has become weak and disabled, that our economy has fallen and it can't get up. Well, that is just plain bunk. It's not true.
The president pushing ahead with his economic growth package and the Prime Minister of Japan backing off his charge that Americans lack a sufficient work ethic. Todd Benjamin has the story from Tokyo.
Damage control was the order of the day for Prime Minister Kiichi Miyazawa. Miyazawa said his remarks on Americans lacking a work ethic wasn't meant as a criticism. The former finance minister said he meant to stress the importance of producing things and creating values by the sweat of the brow. not through the financial gains of the late 1980s. But even a member of Miyazawa's own party says there's a general feeling American workers aren't up to snuff.
The reason the bilateral trade imbalance between Japan and the U.S. continues is because the work ethic, productivity, and general working conditions in America are declining.
Miyazawa is a man of international experience who's in political trouble at home. His initial remark may have been made for domestic consumption.
Here in Japan, there is the upper house election this summer coming up. And no doubt that Miyazawa wants to send a signal to his domestic voters that he's not about to be just bullied around by America.
Whatever the intention, Miyazawa's remarks didn't go down well in the United States, nor did remarks by a former trade minister that American auto workers basically work hard only 3 days a week. The General Motors spokesperson in Tokyo found that remark not only wrong, but a bit ironic.
Are we including the workers that work at the Japanese transplants in Smyrna, Tennessee, in Georgetown, Kentucky, in Marysville, Ohio?
Tensions between America and Japan were already running high, brought on by a stalled U.S. economy, an upcoming election, and a $41 billion trade deficit with Japan alone. Inflammatory rhetoric on both sides of the ocean is only adding more fuel to the fire. Todd Benjamin, CNN Business News, Tokyo.
Coming up next, Americans who are buying Japanese. We'll show you scenes from a busy Midwestern mall and a lot more next on Moneyline. Stay with us.
CNN is the news and more, like coverage of the world's financial markets, fashion from Paris to New York, and showbiz from Hollywood to Broadway. All the sports, scores, and highlights. Debate from a different perspective. The world's weather. Talk that will thrill you. Tantalizing cuisine. Advice you can count on. The